It's called Building Paradise. This is all survival, everybody. I've never gone into creative on this one, and this is really a great start. I'm trying to build this up. Welcome to Paradise. I've found a couple of spots. I've been playing with a couple of people, but hey, this is the beginning of a new era here. Okay, so what you're seeing me do is starting to start a farm. I have already found sugarcane. I have found I've found beetroots and all that. I will be planting them in a minute. I found diamonds, yes. And believe me, I built bigger cities than this, but yeah. I have lots of experience in survival. Hey, if you guys want to check me out on PlayStation, it's ZStarTag98. And also listen to StarRadioNashville.com. They are really great at what they do. Plus, I also cannot lie. I'm just starting technically out over here because we already have another place somewhere else on this map. But as you can see, my map that I have in my hand right now, I am going up to where I just designed. I'm really good at building, believe me. I have ways to prove that. I also have stuff from the Nether. There's crying obsidian and all that. So I am also autistic, guys. Just so you're aware, I do have a small speech impediment, but hey, we're all unique and we're all different. But you know what? Let's continue, keep the ball rolling here. Okay, so what do I got in here? I got books, I got emeralds, I got slime balls. Oh man, there's gold. I found these guys and I found these little tomes right somewhere. I wonder where. Oh yeah, I found them in the monster spawners. We all yawn, so I have my seeds. I gotta get these so I can plant them. Beetroots, they're helpful. I gotta get my potatoes out, but I'm not building a large farm yet until I got all the materials I need. But let me get my hoe out, and just so you're aware, it is an agricultural tool, not to be confused with something I'm not gonna name. But hey, don't worry. Okay, now let's see what I gotta get. Okay, I got it. Spruce sign, I need those because I'm gonna mark them out. Okay, let's keep on going here. Now, the reason I mentioned I was autistic, guys, is that has a lot to do with a lot of the ways I actually communicate with you guys. Autism is really, really different than what most people think it is. It's actually exciting if you actually think about it. To be different is to be ahead of the game. If you were to look at it that way, it changes your whole perspective. Autism does put people back, yes, but often it puts them ahead of the game in other areas that most people wouldn't even think. For example, some people with autism have very great memories, and that's usually the case. And these memories help later on in life, but if you can't communicate, how are you supposed to be able to tell people that? If you're not aware of certain cues, how are you aware of what to say? It makes it difficult, but you know what? I I've I had a very different past, but you know what? Let's get through with what this video is about, guys. So this video is actually it's not all about instruction, but it's basically something I've decided to do because there's a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is I want to get feedback on what my building skills are and how do I improve them. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, okay? And guess what? There's more to this video than meets the eye. I'm going to show you guys a lot of tools and tricks of my trade. There's a lot of ways I do stuff. Like right here, I've evened out everything here. I'm going to be putting beetroots on one end. I'm going to be dividing them based on the way of a lot of other parts. But if you guys want to know who's here with me right now, Mom, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
The-
I am Promotional Music Madness on Star Radio Nashville.com, and also owner of Southern Sky Music Group.com with Z Star.
Yep. And if you want to, as I already told you guys, check me out on as well as Facebook, as well as YouTube right here. Let's keep it real and keep it tuning. Okay, let's see what we got right here. Oh, seeds. Let me see what I can do with those. Even though I already put them in my inventory, and I told you that, guys. Let's see, where do I want to plant the seeds? For wheat, I want to make it on this side. Wheat's a fast grower. Gotta go get more seeds real quick. And thank God there's a whole bunch of them right over here. Because since I'm in the swamp, seeds grow much quickly. That's the one thing I like about swamps. They always contain seeds. Especially for when I need them. Let me jump over that. Okay, everybody, let's see what I gotta do here. I'm just gathering some seeds real quick. No biggie. Piece of pie. Well, I would like the piece of pie right now, man. But, Miss Gordon over here ate it. But you know what? I don't care. I still love her.
What? I love you too.
I love her. I love her a lot, but you know what? She's my mom. I have to love her.
You don't have to love me.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because you're my mom. You gave birth to me.
Yeah. I did something right.
Yeah, you always do stuff right.
Not really. Not all the time.
Oh, would you like to tell them what you didn't do right? Just kidding. JK, everybody. Don't mind me. I'm just being my typical self. Don't worry, she's amazing. You guys get to know her. She'll be in more videos later on, but you know what? Right now, she's just texting away. She's texting a guy named Sun Tzu from The Art of War. Have you guys ever heard of that? Right there. Sun Tzu's a really great author. Even though he's known for The Art of War, but war itself shouldn't be used. I believe that they just created war to show whose muscles were bigger. And how can you flex your muscles? Yeah! I'm talking to you, Kim Jong-un. You're good at doing it. You're good at really flexing those muscles, but hey, the thing is, we all have to flex our muscles sometime. But not all the time. If you're hearing me, please make sure that you know what you're doing. But you know what? Actually, there are some positive things about a lot with the way the country's going, guys. We definitely need to start advocating for others because eventually what's going to happen is we won't be able to do that because what will happen is there will be a lot of events that are coming and foretold, but you know what? We all have our differences. Put our differences aside because divisions don't really help. When we're divided, we can't see the truth. And when we can't see the truth, it blinds us to the possibilities that are out there. What I mean by that, guys, is that when you focus on one thing, that one thing can become your life. And that ain't always correct. What do you guys think about this farm? Leave it down in the comments below, please, because I wanna know how well I did here. I got sugarcane leading up to it. I got this right here. This is to make sure that I have a place to walk around if I ever needed to replace the lights or any of that. And there's enough light here. You guys already saw that. And this farm is going to get bigger eventually. But what I'm doing right now is just getting started. There's going to be trees that I'm going to be growing around here too, like a tree farm. But yeah, it's a good start, but we definitely need to try to get this a little bit going. Yeah, sorry about my yawn, guys. I have a habit of staying up almost 3 a.m. in the morning, which is actually common to people with autism, believe it or not. Autism isn't a disability. Basically, don't look at it as a disability, look at it as an ability. Something you can fight for. Because, you know what? What everybody has is differences. What we need to do is these differences can make us or break us, but what we need to do is take the time to own it. If we can make the inabilities or the disabilities that we have into basically strengths, from weaknesses to strengths, we all have them. But what we gotta do is, we gotta unite, stand up for ourselves. The thing is, people definitely need to hear this message because in a world we're living today, basically many governments around the world are splitting up basically from the inside. Just look at, for example, in the U.S., the election is just around the corner, but the thing is, both candidates have troubled histories. And that we cannot have. We need candidates who present honesty. Right now, both of them, well, I'm just saying this not to be rude or not to offend anybody, but both of them need time in a boarding school that's meant for people who lie. They definitely need that because they both do it. Trump is just more blunt when it comes to it. Biden is straight out, as well as his candidate. They straight out hide the fact. They're not transparent. Trump at least does show some transparency, but not as much as he should be for a president of the United States. Now, for example, in other countries, this is also doing the same thing. Believe it or not, there's one thing in North Korea that can split it divide it. Right now, everybody there, almost everyone there that is loyal to the Kim family or the Kim clan is basically just vying for power. It's basically a power structure that in order to vie for power, you gotta kiss the feet of those who are leading. And that ain't always the case. They could actually help bring change throughout the world. What North Korea is trying to do, guys, is it seems like an enemy to every country. It does flex its nuclear muscles. But the thing is, you gotta look at the bigger picture. If you look at all the small details, they don't add up when you look at the media. The media is portrayed as black or white, not in between. They don't show every detail that goes on. For one thing, in North Korea, I know is based on historical purposes for this, if you were to look at this, knowledge is power. So, how do you think Kim Jong-un keeps power? Control of information. Stalin did the same thing. And I'm not going to mention this for fear of offending of some individuals. And it has to do with the most infamous World War II leader of them all. But I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to end up backtracking. Okay? And there's all kinds of world leaders that have done really horrible things. But in certain countries, actually, Stalin is actually perceived positively because without Stalin, guess what would have happened? Russia themselves today wouldn't be who we know them as. They would still be pretty much almost way before their time. Actually, the Soviets are the reasons, pretty much the reason we have the technology we have today is because of the cooperation during World War II between the Allies and, believe it or not, the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. Those three major powers, they actually developed the technology that we're using today in some format. Like, for example, with the Germans, V2 rocket. The V2 rocket, or the V1, was actually the reason we have what we have today, missiles and all that. Wilmer von Braun, he led NASA too, but here's the secret. He was a part of the original party that was under control of Germany at that time. He just needed funding to pursue his dreams. He always wanted to help with rocket scientry. Sometimes the most difficult of people can also end up becoming the most experienced. What I mean by this quote is that if you were to look at it, history may be written by the victors, but those who often lose or get defeated, they are actually the ones that lead the most innovations a lot of times. Look, Operation Paperclip, U.S., CIA, 1950s and 40s. They actually brought people who were about to be sentenced to war crimes. They brought them to the U.S. to work. They gave them a second chance. What we need to do is give people a second chance to explain things. If we don't, then it's only going to harm us in the future, because basically what we're doing now determines the generations that come after us. Generations need to unite, not divide themselves based on one doctrine, that one generation's better than another. No, each has their own strengths. Each has their own differences. For example, the parents of the children today actually were seeing the development of the internet. They were seeing the original beginnings of the internet in a way where the internet just got released to the public. Those are your millennials. And then the people who are in the baby boomers, they saw the first mass programs of vaccinations ever to be used in the United States and all around the world. They saw the first real use of them for public health related causes. They saw the generation before them saw the Great Depression, saw all the things that were wrong and tried to correct them, but they also tried to they were very active in society. Nowadays, we're going virtual, and with COVID, what's happening is it's changing us. And the big events that are happening now will shape the future later on. There's a lot of reasons this is occurring. But you know what? Most people, destiny and fate are a way that we can actually relate to. When somebody says they have a destiny, it's not always clear at first. But the thing is, people who have said they've had a destiny in the past actually have been right. If you look, Albert Einstein, he actually did not fail math. He actually was pretty good at it. It's just he didn't focus on it because he already knew this. He already knew all this information. So in actuality, what's happening is he's trying to do his best, but he had trouble in other subjects in a way, but he was excellent in school. But yet again, his behavior, his communication issues led to pretty much, he had a lot going on his plate. But you know what? Without him, without Wilmer von Braun and all them, we would not have computing. We wouldn't have what we have today if it weren't for the like-mindedness of Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison. They brought the world to light. Benjamin Franklin. All these people, these great people we say were great, often what they did was actually pursue their dreams in a way where they were trying to help others. They may have thought originally for money, but not always was that the case. Some of the world's greatest leaders have also been the world's greatest villains. Believe it or not, the world's greatest villains can also be the world's greatest leaders in a way. It teaches us about ourselves. It teaches us about how society, those who want to maintain power, they often have to try to fight for it. Because the more keys you give to somebody, the more access, the more it's actually going to end up not always pretty. Because revolution is just another stage of human development, but the thing is, we were all born to do something. Live your dreams. Show who you want to be. Just because people have difficulties doesn't mean they're not great at, not actually, nobody's perfect. There's no such thing as normal because normal is what we define as the usual. But usual doesn't always mean what's usual for one person isn't always the same for another. We gotta stay strong. This world may be on the verge of something great, or it could be on the verge of something that we haven't seen in a long time. What we need to do is find ourselves in this situation. I'm asking the world, unite, vote in any elections that come up in the country of your origin or country that you reside in, because that could be the difference between a revolution and change. Is revolutions often end up violent. Not all of them do, though. What we need to do is stand up for each other. Unite as a species. We're not separate. We're not separate. It doesn't matter if you're on another continent. It don't. Because the thing is, we're all human. We're all the same. We're all trying to make good in the world. We're all trying to do something different. We're all trying to be ourselves, but yet we're a part of one species. We are the only one in our evolutionary tree left. We're still evolving. We're still learning. We need to sponsor education, technology. We need to also help others understand what it means to be somebody. Because if we don't teach them about their potential, we won't advance. We'll just fall back into the Dark Ages. When the Roman Empire fell, the whole world watched, but not as in a way that we would think today. All of Rome, all the people in Rome fell to their knees. They couldn't believe that something that was so great ended up collapsing. Civilizations themselves are due to repeat history, but we can change that. In order not to repeat history, we got to look at history not as just something that people learn in school and then just forget about. No. History is a big part of why we study. When we study history, we look at every possible outcome that could have happened that could help somebody else in need into the future. Give back to your communities. That's what we need to do. What we need to do is give back to society. Show them, but not in monetary forms, because if we give them money, we're just creating another problem. Money is not the answer to everything. Sometimes you got to look at your heart and see what's right. We all make mistakes. We all dream big. But what we got to do is be ourselves. And that is my message to you. So go out there and vote in your country, because in the country that you reside in, because this could be the difference. It doesn't, and if you don't have a choice to vote, if you're in a country that doesn't, try speaking up. Try voicing what you want to become. Please. It's important. Find a way to make a difference. If you can't readily make a difference through the system you live in, because each system is unique. But circumstances, the thing is, everybody's situation is different. What we need to do is help those in need. It doesn't matter. We are all the same in a way. We are all human. We're not animals. But the thing is, we were originally animals in the first place. But what we got to do is protect our environment, protect ourselves from what is going to become of us if we don't. If we don't protect what we're doing now, if we don't realize what we're doing to the next generation, we won't survive. That's the whole point. We need to find a way to make sure that we don't go extinct. Look at the animals we put to extinction. That ain't right. We need to find a way to save what we're doing now and make it better. Look, the classic example of a dodo bird. We as humans, not individuals here, we as humans killed off a whole species that could have been considered a living fossil. Because they weren't evolved for that environment, but it was a very old species. It was actually a species that evolved not to fly, but to actually try to survive. They were just doing what we are doing today. Now, there's no more dodo birds. And the dodos could have presented us with some new findings that we didn't realize. And I'm not complaining about nations at all. Each nation is unique. They have their history with other countries. But what we need to do is find a way. I know. We need to find a solution. One that involves everybody. We cannot just be loners. We have to be ourselves. So you know what? My question to you is, are you ready for a change? Are you ready to see a new reality? Are you ready to go where nobody has gone before? To a world in which is not our own, but of what destiny has for us. This is my question to you. Answer in the comments below what you think we should do and how you can inspire change. I want you to inspire change. Give back. And thank you. This is Z-Star. But let's get back to Minecraft. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay, so right now, as you see, my farm, and if you guys want, Just donate to your local community, please. That is what we need to do. Okay, now, here we are. Okay, I have another portal started. I'm still building this. It will take time. But you know what? See you guys in the next video. But you know what? When that comes up, but I'm not sure when I'm gonna start a schedule for these, but I hope it's soon. But thank you guys. Thank you. And this is Z-Star Attack. Signing off. Let's get gaming, keep it real, and keep it tuning. Thank you. And now, let's stop.